All right, good morning. So it is Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. No April Fools here, but we've got an auction for you on 30A. And I'm going to go over the details on this because we do not see a lot of these, and there's different misconceptions about the auction process based on where you're from or whether it's art or things like that. We at Sotheby's are used to it because our company was founded as an auction house. So we understand kind of a lot about this goes. This is not our auction. I'm bringing this to you kind of like if you're a buyer that might be interested in this auction. But there are three stunning properties, three very high-end properties. And I'm going to kind of walk you through the details of it and show you where they are because I think it's time to get educated on this because it's not, a lot of times when people hear auction, they're like, man, they must be going to give this away. But a lot of times it's used as a strategic positioning in order to get more interest on a property. And in this case, it's the same seller with three different properties all going to auction at the same time. So what I'm going to do today is just kind of walk you through that offering, tell you what I know about it, tell you about the date. And then if you have interest, give me a call because I want to walk you through that process. And if it's something you're truly interested in, get you set up in the best way possible. Okay. So let's dive in and take a look, and I'll read you all the terms and conditions, but I want to show you the properties first off. So let me start with this one. This first property is on Brenda Lane down in Seacrest. All right. So again, three properties. This is the first of which, this is on Brenda Lane down in Seacrest Beach. Now, if you're not familiar, it says Inlet Beach on here, but those of us that know 30A, this is on Brenda Lane is kind of just west of Alice Beach and before you get to like Water Sound and everything. Okay. So I'm going to roll down here to the bottom and then we'll go through, but let me look at these details for you. It says Inlet Beach, it says previously $6.6 million. So what that means is it was on the market for 6.6 before. Now they've kind of got it advertised on MLS for like 5.5. I'll go over how that works. The bidding process is April 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Central Time. So it'll actually be a live bid on April 10th. Okay. You've got to register to be a part of that. I will gladly help you with that. All right. There's an asterisk on it, and this is what I want to break down for you, and then we'll just kind of get. So it says previously 6.6 million, now selling subject to seller confirmation with an asterisk. What does that mean? So I'm going to read you this asterisk. Important note: the property is being promoted and offered for sale in conjunction with two additional properties in neighboring Santa Rosa Beach. Per the terms of the collective offering, the seller has the election to sell more than one property without reserve, but at least one of the three properties is committed to selling without reserve. So without reserve means that there's no minimum necessarily on what that property could go for one of the three. All right. So read that again. To sell more than one property with that, but at least one of the three properties. Okay. Which of the three properties will be sold without reserve will be determined based upon the property preferences cited by the bidders as part of the auction registration. Therefore, until bidders provide their preferences by the registration deadline, any of the three properties should be considered as eligible for sale without reserve. Refer to the luxury auction terms of sale for details. So listen, I think what's happening here is it's basically they're going to have the opportunity to kind of have an outlook on how these bids are coming in and on what properties to determine on which one might be sold without reserve. I can tell you what's going to happen here is that there's going to be action. This is not going to be a giveaway by any means. You're not going to be able to pick up one of these properties for $1 million, right? But they're committed to the process. They're committed to selling this at auction, and they want to sell these three properties. All right. So let's take a look at these options. Here's the first one. And I've got the rental numbers for you too. I'm going to walk you through it, but we're going to start with Brenda Lane because the ones on Woodward are pretty similar. So we got 7 bedrooms, 7 full baths, 5,743 square feet, built in 2024. Okay. Great location. You know where it's at. This is a good indication. This is how far, here's the house right here, circling it for you. This is the proximity to the beach. Let me click on this for you, okay? Beautiful exterior, brand new. Large pool, good size lot, 0.31 acres, which for us down here, plenty. But you can see it's gonna be a big house, right? It's made for rental. Does an incredible job on rental. I'll show you more of those details in a second. Fully furnished. Just a beautiful setup, right? It's everything you want out of a 38 beach house that's made for rental in an incredible location. You hear me say this if you watch any of my videos. I love houses where if you got 7 bedrooms, you can actually accommodate everybody in the living areas and in the kitchen and things like that. This one doesn't, right? So look, it's checking the boxes. It's a beautiful home. It's got all the amenities to it, all right? So Casey, what does something like this do on rental? Well, let's have a look. I'm gonna add this to the stage here. So here we go. $395,000 estimated rental revenue, okay? This chart kind of shows you a good guideline of what. So average stay revenue, $16,000 per week is what they're saying on average stay. You can kind of look at this chart and see that most of that damage is done in June and July with the shoulders of May and June. October, expected that to actually be a little bit stronger, but for a 7-bedroom this close to the beach with a beach access at the end of it, that close to Alice, expected revenue around $400,000 for a property like that. On an advertised prices, it was previously at 6.6. Right now it's out there at 5.5. So what can you get it for at auction? I'm not sure. But if you're wanting to do the math on it, this is where I help you. The projections around it show that it's around potentially, let's call it $350,000 to $400,000 in gross rental revenue projection on a house like that, okay? Now the next one I'm gonna show you, there are actually 2 of them, okay? They're calling them Oceanside Retreat 2 and Oceanside Retreat 3, right? They're right here on this website. So let's go to 3. They're both the same house, both same location. So this is on the west end of 30A. This is very close to Stinky's. If you're familiar with 30A, it's gonna be very close to Stinky's, right? So great beach access there at the end. I've been watching these be built. They're really good at construction, really laid out well. Previously $6 million, says without reserve. It's gonna see the same rules. Again, 2 houses identically the same. Okay, Thursday, April 10th is the bidding. I'll go into that. It says that you need to have the bids kind of submitted and registered by April 9th. We'll go into that. Again, the disclaimer about that he can do, one of the properties is committed to doing it without reserve. Again, I'll walk you through that. This one, 5 bedrooms, 7 full baths, 5,500 square feet, newly built 2024, around the same size lot, right? They've got a great video up here. You can kind of look through some of the pictures, show you these. There's about 4 of them stacked in a row. You see how these are kind of conjoined right here? Nice pool. Okay, there's the Gulf. It's a 2-3 minute walk to the beach from this location. That is a public beach access directly at the end of the street. Super convenient, easy to get to. Not a ton of parking, so it doesn't get overly crowded in that spot. You can see the Gulf there. Good size pool. Again, same design team, and I believe the same builder on these is the same as Brenda. That's actually 38 wallpaper there. Do you guys see that? Really nicely done. Same Truman Show on the TV. Somebody's getting creative with that. All right, so you guys are getting the point. These are very nicely appointed. They're worth the money to the market, right? Like there's comps around these price points. So what they're advertising on this one on MLS currently is $4,995, okay? $4,995 for the ones on Woodward is what they advertise on MLS, but that's strictly for advertising purposes only. So you got one at $559 on Brenda, and then these at $4,995 is the advertised price. And then they'll be kind of going to auction as part of the auction process, but they're trying to give you some guidelines there. There are comps to support it, like around Inlet Beach. But again, it's an auction process. We'll see what they end up doing. right? So Casey, what does the rental look like on the one at Woodward? So 280,000 on this one. Okay, average stay revenue 9,900. So listen, what's the key differences between this one and Brenda? 2 less bedrooms, little different location. The West End does not historically get the volume in rental income that the East End can, that close to like Alice Beach and everything, but a lot to do with that number, the 280 versus the 350 to 370 number we saw on the other one, is the fact that it has 2 less bedrooms. All right. So just a little different animal, a little different location, and that helps. So what we've got here is, if you're an investor, you're like, okay, 5.5 is doing around 380, 4.9 doing 280, or based on those numbers, where do you get comfortable making the math make sense? So let me talk to you for a second. Casey, why are you bringing us this? It's mainly to educate, make you aware that there is an auction taking place on April 10th. If you're a buyer that would be in and around this range, looking for something that's a heavy rental producer, you don't have to rent it, obviously. You can use it as a second home or move into it if you wanted to. But these things were built amazingly to host a lot of people, all right? And again, a reminder, why are they doing the auction process? This isn't a super distressed situation. This is a tactic to a seller that's got 3 properties, wants to generate the excitement around it, allow people to bid at a price that they will be totally comfortable with. And if they win, they win. And I can promise you, I've seen this over the last year, and the buyers have been happy with the prices they've been able to secure. Now, if you have $1 million budget or a $2 million budget, should you call me with this auction? Likely not. I do not see a scenario where these homes are going to be purchased in that range. But if you're in and around this range and are more curious about this kind of setup or the auction process, should you call me? Yes, you should. Because even if this one doesn't work out, there is a bit of a trend toward these auctions where they're generating new interest and you can get familiarized with the process. I'm happy to help you with that. Happy to help you register. Happy to give you some guidelines and really to kind of go through that fine print to show you exactly what's going on so you have the right expectation on it. So I wanted to bring this to you today, introduce it to you, give you the opportunity to make yourself aware. It's April 1st. It's still 10 days away. It's a unique offering on some incredible properties that I've watched be built. Same development team, same owner, and excited to see what happens with this. So if this generated any interest for you at all and you want more details, please do not hesitate to call me. And I look forward to giving you more stuff like this into the future. Thanks to everyone for stopping by, and look forward to hearing from you.